Alright, that's about as good a shot as I can get. So what we're going after, let me get a pointer. What we're going after here, I mean it'll be obvious when I turn the steering wheel, but what we're going after here is this gear right here where you see the pointer and its saddle right below it. So I've got a C-clip right over here, which you can't see because the fuel line's in the way. Little C-clip. I'm going to pull that shaft out, pull this piece and this piece out of the tractor and measure everything up, bore a hole into this piece so you guys may get to see the mill used for the first time, and then mic this. I may need to put it in the lathe and turn it to a nominal dimension so that I can then either make a bushing or alter an existing bushing that I have so that this doesn't happen. See how much movement we have here? All that movement from here to here. It is just as sloppy as it can be. So we want to try to get rid of that sloppiness, and about the only way I can think to do that is to bush the hole in that piece right there so you can see all that movement. So that's the goal, is to get that taken care of. So y'all stay tuned. Let me get everything out so you're not having to look over the fuel line and over the light and all that stuff, and we'll assess the damage once we get everything out. Anybody know how to play taps? Got a little issue, but that's alright. I'm always thinking ahead. There's a new hose. Just something to interrupt my day while I'm working on the Craftsman. Let me get the new hose on there. And through the magic of video, the new hose is on. There's the old one. Am I going to throw it away? No. I'm going to cut the bad end off, barb it, secure it, and it can live another day. So I can recycle that one, use it again, just like I've done with this one over here. Gives me plenty of extension to continue moseying right along. Just the point of stress is usually right here where this little reinforcing dealio is on this one. I think this is a, what is it? A Diablo. It's a Harbor Freight special. It was on sale. But we got her. That's all done. Now we're going to get back on the steering. Well, I guess first I should show you what I had to go through to get this out. I had to tear everything apart to get that sucker out of there. Alright, but now that it's out, we can take a closer look at it, right? What we've got, and you can get a better look at the gears here. See how those gears, those center gears there, are really wore down. The shaft itself is okay, but those gears, those teeth are really wore down. So how can we fix it? Well, we can install bushings. We can re-weld. I'll show you here in just a second. This is the assembled unit, and then you would have a couple of washers here and the little circlip there, and that holds the whole thing together. But if we look over here on this other side, let me go ahead and pop it back apart again. Look over here on this side, we are all wore out right here. It has wallered that hole out. This hole's not wallered out, but this one over here is, which is causing a lot of sloppy movement there. Alright, And then on top of that, if we come down to just this piece, we've got a whole lot of sloppy movement there as well. This piece right here is plastic, and down underneath is what appears to be an Allen head, and I guess you have to get things turned in just the right position in order to get, nope, you've got to get it apart in order to get that Allen head out of there. So let's take a look. We've got another circlip right here. Got to knock that circlip out, and that'll allow us to move this gear back, which will, it'll allow us to move the gear so that we can take the whole assembly completely apart and take this apart and see if there's something we can do about all that slop there. All that slop there. I think if we can get rid of that slop right there, we might be in business. So, guys, give me just a second. My Wi-Fi connection between my camera and my phone's being hokey. So, I'm going to get that circlip off, get it apart, and then we'll take a closer look at it. Yeah, and lots of dirt and slightly skinned knuckle. Be right back. Alright gang, I got the other circlip off, but before I tear it apart, I wanted to show you what I did. I took, and right here, and right here, I put witness marks so that I can be sure to get that gear on in the same spot, because I do not know if there's a flat land. It's splined, by the way. You can see the splines down there. I'm not sure if it's going to play nice and just go back in the same in the spot that it needs to go in. So I'll just work both of these off. There we go. We just keep working them, keep working them. Come on. Cooperate. There, we're getting it. Not quite out of view yet, so that's good. Good job on the camera placement, Zippo. Alright, I got that out. Let's go ahead and pop this off. Maybe not. It does not want to come off. Do we have... Let me just try to rotate it and see if it'll go in. Won't go in. Won't go in. Goes in. Okay, so there must be a witness mark on the spline shaft there, so that's good. Right now, I'm not going to worry about getting that off. I really don't need to. Got a lot of wear there, too. Why they make this out of plastic is beyond me, but let's get an Allen wrench down in there, get that sucker busted loose, and let's see what kind of carnage is in there. I don't even know if I was showing you guys that. Oh, I guessed the right one the first time. I suppose we can move this out of the way because we're done with that for the time being. We will get this in the vise. Sort of, kinda in view. There we go. That's better. I lost my Wi-Fi connection between my phone and the camera. Wow, that's tight. Alright, what size is that? 3/16. Hang on. What's the matter with you, Zippo? You should be prepared. Well, I'm semi-prepared. There's my 3/16. Let's pop that sucker out of there. See if we can snake it in there. Nope, we can't. Will it go in that way? No, it won't. Okay, that's alright. We'll go in that way, and we will use a cheater Here we go. Now prepared again, right? Come on, Zippo, get with the program. What's the matter with you? Just get over it. Okay. If we can get that thing to pop loose. Wow, that's tight. Probably snapped the ball off the end of the Allen wrench. That is super, super tight. Ouch! That felt really good. Did you? I told you guys, didn't I? I said I was going to break the ball end off the end of that Allen wrench. That's exactly what I did. Now that's stuck in there. That's awesome. Ugh, that hurt. Come on. Alright, fine. Don't. That came back and snapped my finger. Just as sure as I'm sitting here. Oh, there's the, whoops. There's the ball end of the Allen wrench. We got that out of the way, right? Should we try it again? Let me check and see if I've got a socket Allen that I can use on there and see if we can't impact that thing loose. Give me just a second. We're using an old offset here. It is a Ward's Master Quality, made in USA. How about that? And that goofy little guy right there. The reason we have to go in that route is because that's as proud as it's going to sit. So we got to get that sucker loose one way or another, don't we? Ready? I can get you guys in a better spot to see a little bit more of what's going on here. We move some things out of the way. Try to get that clamp in there. You guys like looking at the ceiling? Come on. Just stay. There we go. You can see a little better. Sorry about the horrible video quality there. But you guys should be used to it by now. Let me just dead blow that a couple times. I think that worked. There we go. Had to bust a finger just to get that done, huh? There we go. And we got her all apart. Yeah, it's only slightly wore out. No big deal there, huh? You ready to see this? Can you see how wore out that is? Get a flashlight in it. I own flashlights. Here we go. You see how egg-shaped that is? Really, really, really egg-shaped. So I think the best thing that I can do for this is to bore that out. And then after I bore it out, because the shaft itself is really nice. It's in really good shape. No worries there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to bore that out and then re-sleeve it. I'll see if I've got a bushing that just about fits that. That's what's causing all that wobble. If we didn't have all that wobble, I think we'd be alright, because we can, we can see that gear. The bitter edges of them are just as sharp as they can be, and they should be like this, with a nice flat on the top of them. But yeah, they're really, really chewed down. But if I can get things squared up enough, I may get lucky enough to be able to get, a couple or 3 or 4 more years of mowing out of this thing. but that piece right there has got to do a better job of holding on to the end of the end of the steering shaft. Boy, that thing really hurt my finger. Anyway, all right, let me see what I can find in my parts hoard, and I'll come back to you in just a minute. All right, and going through my hoard of bushings and everything, without having to actually machine the whole thing, what I've come up with is a really thin wall oil light bushing. I lost the connection on my Wi-Fi again. Is that bushing there? But it's so thin walled, I don't want to trust it in that hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bore this one out so that this will press fit into it, and then the OD here I will bore here and then press fit this into there, and hopefully we can take care of our steering issue. That's the hopes. So wish me luck. I've got a lot of little clips on this going on, so sorry you're not going to witness the machining because I just want to get it done real quick. I'm just going to do it on the lathe with a quick little boring bar. So we'll catch you guys as soon as I get done mating these two and getting this bored out, and then we'll go ahead and press these in together. So we'll see you in just a minute. Alright gang, I'm going to assume that, sorry about the squeaking, that this is going to be in my field of view as long as I stay right here. I machined the ID of that one out to fit this, and it fits. It's a press fit, as you can hear as I'm pushing it down, but not such a tough press fit as to cause it to compress that inner bushing. So now we're going to take the outer piece right there, and we're going to bore it so that that will press down in there. So stick around. Just because I'm a nice guy, and that's the only reason. The inaugural run of the mill, and all it's going to do is just bore a hole using this 5/8 drill bit in order for me to press that bushing in. Okay, so, and I've got everything all set up. We are ready to go. Let's just go ahead and fire the little guy up. Make sure we're in forward. We are on. We don't need a ton of speed here. We'll set it at about 20 hertz, and let's bore a hole. I'm just about centered, close enough for me. Just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so you all witnessed the very first running of the mill. I know, what a silly thing to do for a first running of it, right? Well, we accomplished what we set out to accomplish, and now I'll be able to press that in there. Don't worry, I'm not going to bang it on the vise. I'll press that the rest of the way in. In fact, let's just go over and do that now. Press that the rest of the way in, then we'll check our fitment on our steering gear and see how we do. That's the only thing I did on the mill. The rest of it I did on the lathe. Oh, get up there. Can we see the vise? We can kind of see the vise. Now we can see the vise. Okay. All I'm going to do is just squeeze it on in there. Just run it home. That's all the more we need. Alright, now do you guys want to check and see how it fits on the shaft? Remember how wobbly things were before, right? Let's see now. There is no wobble whatsoever. So I'm hopeful that will remedy our issue with our steering and allow us to continue steering this beast for a little while longer. So the day's getting a little long. I'll post this up as steering repair number 1, part 1, and we'll put the rest of it together tomorrow. Once we get it together, we'll see if we've got good steering, if all this effort and energy was worth it. So we'll see you guys on the next one. If you would, please give me a big old thumbs up. Zippo later. I'm out. I have no idea why I cut the video for part 1 without first assembling this and showing you guys what we've got. And there's no way that it can skip out. The plastic flexes just a little bit, but it is not skipping out. It's not doing anywhere near the movement and motion that it was doing before. So I think we've got a winner as far as repairing that steering. Just a little bit of TLC on there, and we may be able to put that thing back in service. Of course, we're going to grease the front spindles really well and lube everything else up so everything jives together. But now comes the task of reversing that whole mess, and that'll come on part 2. We'll see you guys then.